Poverty entails fear and stress and sometimes depression. It means 1,000 petty humiliations and hardships. I believe in hard work and luck, and that the first often leads to the second. I have never been remotely ashamed of having been depressed. Never. What's to be ashamed of? I went through a really rough time, and I am quite proud that I got out of that. Failure means a stripping away of the inessential. Harry found the tea seemed to burn away a little at the fear fluttering in his chest. Print will never die. There's no substitute for the feel of an actual book. I adore physically turning pages and being able to underline passages and not worrying about dropping them in the bath or running out of power. I also find print books objects of beauty, talent and intelligence. Never yet inoculated anyone against the caprice of the fates. I am indebted to the British welfare state, the very one that Mr. Cameron would like to replace with charity handouts. When my life hit rock bottom, that safety net, threadbare though it had become under John Major's government, was there to break the fall. I cannot help feeling, therefore, that it would have been contemptible to Scarpa for the West Indies at the first sniff of a 7-figure royalty check. This, if you like, is my notion of patriotism. In truth, I never consider the audience for whom I'm writing. I just write what I want to write. I find that discussing an idea out loud is often the way to kill it stone dead. Yes, it's rather funny, really, that next to no one realized the snake that Harry set free in Philosopher's Stone turned out to be Voldemort's final Horcrux, Nogini. In many, many ways. Hufflepuff is my favorite house. Your mother died to save you. If there is one thing Voldemort cannot understand, it is love. Love as powerful as your mother's for you leaves its own mark. To have been loved so deeply, even though the person who loved us is gone, will give us some protection forever. You think the dead we love truly ever leave us. You think that we don't recall them more clearly in times of great trouble. Youth cannot know how age thinks and feels. But old men are guilty if they forget what it was to be young. I don't believe in the kind of magic in my books. But I do believe something very magical can happen when you read a good book. It's so difficult to describe depression to someone who's never been there, because it's not sadness. I know sadness. Sadness is to cry and to feel. But it's that cold absence of feeling that really hollowed out feeling. Aunt Petunia often said that Dudley looked like a baby angel. Harry often said that Dudley looked like a pig in a wig. When you have seen as much of life as I have, you will not underestimate the power of obsessive love. Destiny is a name often given in retrospect to choices that had dramatic consequences. And so rock bottom became the solid foundation on which I rebuilt my life. The knowledge that you have emerged wiser and stronger from setbacks means that you are, ever after, secure in your ability to survive. You will never truly know yourself, or the strength of your relationships, until both have been tested by adversity. Such knowledge is a true gift, for all that it is painfully won, and it has been worth more than any qualification I ever earned. If you don't like to read, you haven't found the right book. Indifference and neglect often do much more damage than outright dislike. Happiness can be found, even in the darkest of times, if one only remembers to turn on the light. What happened down in the dungeons between you and Professor Quirrell is a complete secret. So, naturally the whole school knows. Don't let the Muggles get you down. The Potter books in general are a prolonged argument for tolerance, a prolonged plea for an end to bigotry. And I think it's one of the reasons that some people don't like the books, But I think it's a very healthy message to pass on to younger people, that you should question authority and you should not assume that the establishment or the press tells you all of the truth. It takes a great deal of bravery to stand up to our enemies, but just as much to stand up to our friends.